Okay, so I have a Jack Daniel shirt because today I took whiskey class. Yay! And in whiskey class, I learned kind of a lot about whiskey. I learned a lot I didn't know. Of all the cocktails, whiskey's like the one that I know the least about. So, love that I got to learn a little bit more about whiskey. That's exciting. Um, Also, I want to kind of talk a little bit more about just some of the conversations that have been happening with destiny, I guess. And I want to talk about them in relation to like why it matters because it seems like a lot of people are on the like, why is Destiny even talking about any of this shit? Why does it matter to him? Like, what does he know? He's just a YouTuber. He has no business talking about this. Seems like this is what everyone's saying, and I just don't agree with them like at all because like we need regular people to talk about things that are impacting regular people. Otherwise, like everyone's mental health is going to be really awful, and especially like some of the weird things like in the black community is like there are real conversations about just real things that are happening in the black community where you could talk about the lack of fatherhood, gayness in the terms of the male population, just really the inability of like black women to have any sort of like femininity at all because of the strain of capitalism. There's like mm, declining birth rates, rising STD rates. There's like educational incompetencies, underemployment, discrimination, predatory like policies and laws that are like almost like legacy laws. And there's like so many things that like a lot of people aren't talking about, I feel like, because they don't care or like they don't understand. And I actually saw Tiana, that girl, like Fab Socialism, came on and she was like, well, I can't make these videos anymore with like a good conscience. And I think she basically talked about how she's shutting down her channel. And then she said, like, the last couple of videos that she's done, she explains why she's doing it. And I think a lot of it was like her talking about like taking more COVID precautions. I kind of feel like if you are immunocompromised, like if you have some sort of disease that is suppressing your immune system in some way, I do think you should probably take COVID precautions a little bit more seriously and maybe still mask. But if that isn't your situation, I do think it's kind of important to go out into society and just interact with like the people who are there. And I guess also that's just kind of almost a general theme that I would like to promote in like more than just like a COVID precaution type of conversation because like um whatever your morals and values are, there's people from both sides, like some people who are going to like share those morals and values and then other people who are like going to oppose those morals and values. And I just think it's important to have like a general awareness and surroundedness with like being around those people. And this is the part where I think that Destiny is providing a service to the American economy in a way that is really refreshing, actually. Like, I think that all of his viewpoints, a lot of them are shared by people who watch him, right? Like, right now, Destiny is representing the left in a space that was kind of like void to an extent. He is taking a leftist stance on a lot of things. And like being politically on the left is real. Being politically on the right, we have quite a lot of people who are occupying that space right now, but being able to compare and contrast those ideologies and talk about them issue by issue, I think is really important. So a lot of people have made or are sharing more and more clips around Destiny's like Israel Palestine conversation, um, and like key talking points, and they're talking about how like those specific historians were very right. Why they were right and all these things, right? And you might be like, if you're on this particular channel, you might be wondering like, what does this have to do with us? Like, what? I don't know, because I've almost tried to create a space for Black women where we kind of talk about like issues that are, some people, I don't know, some people try to call me like a soft feminist channel. I definitely wouldn't say that. Like, I am the economy ticket. And like, maybe I'll actually change. I call this channel Gossip Girl because I like to gossip about all the other things that I see, and I can do that because I have a ticket. Now, the funny part about this in the Black community is that like so many people are living in poverty that they don't even understand the difference between having a ticket and not having a ticket. Like, say what you will, but like, since the creation of this channel, like, I've had my own things, like my own money. Like, everyone now just talking about, I'm not saying everyone is like a boss chick now, or what do they call it? The boss babe or something. But I've kind of always been that. Like, I've always been the girl with the job, the girl with the apartment. I didn't make a big deal out of it because I wanted to normalize that. And I feel like we have to an extent at this point. Like, most girls have apartments, most girls have jobs. That's normal. That is the economy ticket. Now, like, I actually went on an apartment tour today because I might like upgrade my apartment, right? Like, I got a better job, I'm making more money. Um, I want to live in like a nicer apartment. So maybe I'll do that. Like, maybe, I don't know. Um, but either way, that ticket and that option costs money. And like, um, how can I say? Like, I'm totally happy and fine with like um continuing to work and have money and have things to pay for this lifestyle. Like, that works for me. I'm happy with that. Yes. I saw a video that I guess it's about this girl. Her name is Bianca. She looks like she maybe might be like an Afro Latina in a sense, but she told her story that was about her getting HIV, and I thought like, I didn't think it was sad. I thought it was more like typical, because like in the Black community there are so many Black girls who have and are diagnosed with HIV, and I don't know why like more people aren't talking about it. Like, you won't ever hear, it's Black men who are out here giving Black women AIDS. And it doesn't really feel like Black men are the ones who are going to the clinic to go get tested for things to make sure that they're not infecting an entire community, because they are. It does seem to be Black women, I don't even know what's happening with Black girls. Like I said, I've said this so many times. It seems like Black girls are just being taken off of the face of the earth. They're being like sex trafficked and like just stolen away. So maybe they don't even have the opportunity to go to a clinic or anything because it's just, they're just stolen away and murdered. So yeah, I mean, if you're sex trafficked, obviously the clinic visits are not like up. An OBGYN is not a part of your daily plan. The point being though is I think that overall, like, Black women have to take their own health extremely seriously, irregardless of what any other woman, man, child is saying, feels, or whatever. Like, the point is that these like diseases are running rapid, okay, in just society. And it felt like a casual conversation to watch this girl like talk about this. And the weird part about it is like, I don't know if this guy's like died or something because I didn't watch the whole. She's got like a whole channel, and I guess she tells like other parts of this story. But I guess like other people knew this guy when he was alive. It sounds like he's passed on at this point. I'm not sure. Oh Jesus! But the point is like, like poverty, disease, malnutrition, undereducation, domestic violence, awful parentage, like those things are topics that like black creators need to start unpacking more. Cause like those are the issues that are happening in the black community. I'm not personally saying if you aren't personally dealing with those issues, I'm definitely not saying like you should go find those issues and then like make content about something you don't understand. I'm not saying that, but statistically, like everyone isn't living like me. I'm giving you content about like topics and issues, things that I personally care about, ways that I invest my time, conversations that I care about, in hopes that there are other people who are like interested in those things too. But I've got to be honest, like this channel is not very popular because like my lifestyle is not popular. It isn't normal or average in the black community. Like, even though I have the economy ticket, like, I'm a fucking waitress, okay? I don't know, but I feel like most black women are like strippers or something. Like, are all of them strippers? Like, is everybody stripping? Like, I don't know. I can't do sex work because I don't have the like confidence or the like, how do you say, backbone to deal with all of it. And I have immense fear about like the violence that will come to me by entering a space like that. Like I feel like if I started to do stuff like that, I would die probably like 2 days in. Like I don't think I've got the strength or capacity to do it. I don't have it in me. I just wasn't born for that life. So I do think it's interesting though. I mean, I wonder, like I said, I would really hope, I would love it if more like urban black girls found my channel and found my content and actually listened to some of the stories that I tell and have told. And maybe I'll do a better job of like telling more of my, like going back and starting my story from the beginning so that it is more chronological and it makes sense. Because I do feel like one thing that I am wary of is like other people telling parts of my story that are misunderstood. So they're almost like using my story in ways where it was actually successful in trying to make it like a horror tale. Like, oh, well, don't do what Olivia did because she was unsuccessful. And they're saying that because they don't actually know what success looks like, right? Because they haven't experienced exactly what I have experienced. And so, where they thought that they were teaching their children and their people in their community a lesson by saying, don't follow her, if only they would have listened to the source, maybe me, listen to what I said, they would realize that they could have just learned something from that and maybe actually followed suit and been successful. And I think that's very sad, but I don't necessarily care because I promote abortion in this community. I think that that is the smoothest path forward for black women. Like I don't think right now having a bunch of baggage and lineage right now is going to help improve the black community. I think black women need to have a time of like individual like accomplishments. Like I feel like more black women need to continue where bell hooks stopped. Like I think we need to go into like bell hooks university and unpack what is there and then like push it forward by like another 100 years. And then after that I feel like enough people will have like burned off their like trauma bonds and all of the, epigenetic factors that were causing people to not thrive. and then they will be in a much better state to use those eggs to like make a better generation. Because role models are actually something that we need, like black female role models, and the ones we have right now, I've got to say, are pretty awful. I wouldn't. There's not really any. I really wish there was. Maybe Khalees. Actually, I do like what she's doing now in life. I think that it's useful. I think that there's a lot to learn from her. I don't know why she's decided to go down this path that she's going down, which is like urban farming and traveling through Africa. I think it's very interesting. I just would have never assumed that Khalees would be the person to do this, but I'm not judging it. I think that it's a good thing. I think that it's going to inspire a lot of people in good, like positive ways. But yeah,